Hi you guys, welcome back to another first impression video. We are working our way through the new fall patterns from the Big Five. Today is going to be the new McCall's fall collection. It looks like we have 23 patterns, but some might be kids or costumes, and I will skip those. If you're new here, this is the video series where I take a look at every single pattern in a collection and kind of just give you my first impression thoughts. We look at fit, we talk about fabrication, and, you know, really just gab about kind of the overall design. So, kicking things off with this Mrs. Fitted Button Front Mini Dress. Sizes 6 to 14 and 16 to 24. That I think is everything but the size 4, I'm pretty sure. So pretty inclusive on the Mrs. side of things, I guess. It's described as a fitted and lined dress pattern, front and back seaming detail, collar, front button opening, shoulder pads, long sleeves with buttons. View A has decorative grommets, rivets, and studs. Fabric and photo, I just pointed this out in the new look first impression. This looks to me like something they are doing across the board now on the front of the listing for the pattern. They're including the fabric, the exact fabric that they used in this version, in the sample that they made. I guess that's helpful. It's definitely not helpful. More information is better. Some of them you can just copy and paste 8-ounce denim and you'd be able to go find 8-ounce denim. Otherwise, just search for denim and then you have to sort it by the weight and then you can find some 8-ounce denim. But the more specific they are here, the better it will be. If they just put denim, that wouldn't be enough. But the 8-ounce denim, that's super helpful. The only thing that would make this like perfect really is if they would somehow figure out a way to link to the exact fabric. I don't think they're going to do that ever. Probably, maybe if someone, like if Mood was like, make all your samples out of our fabric and worked out some collab with them where there was like some commissions being earned. It's a corporate thing, right? They're never, I don't think they're going to link to fabrics ever, but this is better. This is a step in the right direction for sure. Then you have your other fabric suggestions. I'm not entirely sure why this is on the front page. Not super helpful here, right here in the front, especially when all that information is on the back of the envelope. I guess there are people who don't look at the back of the envelope. Okay. Either way, they are suggesting cotton blends, denim, twill, and wool blends. And then view C, this one here, can be in faux leather. And then it is lined, fitted and lined dress pattern. So lining fabrics and then interfacing. So yeah, that's not super helpful for me to be right here on the front of the page, but interesting that they are thinking about it in that way. Okay, so like the description said, we have these style lines here. They have top stitched all of these. Really beautiful work there, construction work for sure. You've got a notched collar, but it looks to be like a one-piece collar, like a grown-on maybe, or at the very least definitely does not have a collar stand. And then these are your grommets and studs and things. What do we think about that? I mean, it's a cool, interesting idea, right? And the placement is definitely appropriate. All of these little dots would be marked on your pattern pieces and you would transfer them. I don't hate it. I don't hate it at all. I like that they're thinking about making something a little bit more modern, and that this definitely achieves that. Because if they had just made this plain version, which, what's the difference? Just the lengths? The lengths are different? You know, if they'd have made a sample out of that, I don't know, it would have just been like another shirt dress, right? This one's definitely very cutesy, very young. And I think that that's McCall's demographic, and that's fine. But I can see some girly in her 20s, 30s wearing this. I mean, even go up from there. Maybe it is for all ages, depending on the length. You might just want to make it a little bit longer. If you are, I don't know, do you get self-conscious about your legs as you get older? I don't know. But either way, it is a cute little design. I'm going to give them that on this one. It does have, it definitely has 3 buttons here. I don't know if those are functioning though. And a two-piece sleeve. Is that what that's indicating? Because it definitely looks like that's on every single one. And because of the shadow here, it makes me feel like that is a functioning sleeve placket. So yeah, this is giving a lot of construction happening on this. Now, the way they've styled it, now that I can see that she's in black high heels, black pumps, these two things are not talking to each other. We need something else here. Like a boot would have been totally appropriate for fall. And I'm sure they have like boots there for people to put on. Anyways, it's not about the shoes really. But this far away, this full body look, I do like seeing that so you can get a better idea of their proportions. The sleeves are a little bit loose fitting. That's probably pretty common for McCall's. So I don't love the shape of the sleeve, but it's also a little bit long on her here. But everything else about it does seem really spot on. Here's the back. Okay, so my only thought about this is when you sit down, that's going to be painful. So maybe don't put them right there on your lower butt, upper thigh. Everywhere else is totally fine, but all I can imagine is sitting, in my car or at lunch or dinner or wherever I'm at and just being brutally uncomfortable, being stabbed by all of these studs. I mean, those are sticking out quite a bit. And then you're supposed to just sit down on them? No. Here's the placket fully functioning. I absolutely love that. And yes, two-piece sleeve. You can see the top stitching here. A lot of really great construction details on this one, you guys. I'm going to give it to them. Yeah, they didn't phone this one in for sure. So we've got those suggested fabrics again. We've got your notions. So top stitching thread, 1/2 inch shoulder pads, sleeve heads also. Okay. 14 denim buttons, and then assortment of decorative grommets, rivets, and or studs. And then for view C, it would require snaps instead of denim buttons. Again, I'm not entirely sure what the differences are between A and B and then C, but something, because they want the snaps instead of the buttons. That's got to be something, right? Maybe the weight of the fabric, or just snaps versus buttons in terms of like look. Fit wise, it looks like we've got 3.5 inches of ease in the bust, and I do think that matches what I'm seeing here. This looks to be about 3.5. That feels appropriate for this type of like blazer dress kind of look. Obviously, if you like things more form-fitted, you could go down, but maybe get a denim with some stretch in it. Remember, this is just 8-ounce denim, no stretch. But it doesn't feel like too much. If anything, you would want to make it closer fitting. Anything bigger than that, and you would be just basically redesigning it to be an oversized look. And I don't know that that's what we're going for here. The hip has 5.5 inches. So again, that makes perfect sense. If you want it to be closer fitting, you can absolutely do that. And speaking of fitting on this, because it has so many style lines, you've got your side seams and all of these princess seams. I don't mess with the center front or center back, but you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 places where you can like pinch or let out your 5/8 inch seam allowance. If we're talking in quarters of an inch times 10, what does that end up being? 6 inches? You have 6 inches to play with if you just alter things by 1/4 inch, which isn't a lot. It's very, very easy to do. So that's why I love these for those of us that are like kind of curvy, pear-shaped people. It makes it so much easier to get things to fit well because you have so many places where you can pinch and nip and tuck. Okay, we started off strong with that. So there's nowhere really to go if you start out at the top, so I hope that they can maintain that. All right, we've got a Mrs. dress with hemline variations. Okay, keeping an open mind. 4 to 12 and 14 to 22. Very loose fitting flared dress pattern, has long sleeves with elastic hem, bias collar that ties in the back. and back slit neck opening with hook and eye closure. View A has high-low hem. Oh, and C has a tiered bottom. All views are above ankle length at center back. They used a printed rayon challis. I'm assuming it's rayon. Challis, charmeuse, crepe de chine, and gauze are the suggestions. Okay, I think I know where they were going with this. It's giving me, oh, what is that indie pattern? Isn't it like Willow or something? Or is the pattern company Willow something? Like everybody and their brother made it like maybe 4 or 5 years ago. It's kind of looking like that. It's looking a little dynasty, a little, you know, like, I don't know. I don't have a problem with the shapelessness of it. That is perfectly fine to me. What I have a problem with is, I mean, you are covered from your ears, all of your arms, all of your legs. There's like no skin being shown anywhere. So it's just a lot. If we had like a V-neck here, or it was sleeveless, or a shorter hemline, then, you know, it starts to look a little bit less like a potato sack. But this is just giving, like, I don't know, like, I want it to be chic, I want it to be cool. There's no doubt it's comfortable. It's just giving, like turtleneck pajamas. This version, this C version, let me see that one. This one too. This one has hope because again, you could, you know, show some leg with that high-low hem. But see, this one, I don't know exactly how short this is, but you could use that as like a jumping off point to make it like a mini dress. And I do think the mini dress would just look a little better. Alternatively, you could also leave off the sleeve. It is a raglan, so you would have like a halter top with the neck and the ties. That could be really cute. So there are some ways to hack this, but on its face, for what it is, that's not it. That is not it. So, okay, yeah. Yeah, there's not much to say about it. It's a nightgown with potential. 1 yard of elastic and 1 hook and eye are all the notions that you need. And then, my gosh, ease on this is going to be through the roof. We've got 10 inches in the bust, and I'm sure it only gets bigger and bigger as you go down waist and hip. So very oversized, well, not really oversized, but very loose fitting. Definitely base this off of your upper bust measurement and really focus on the shoulders. That's what's going to make it look like it's loose fitting and not too big. There's a delicate balance there though, for sure. Okay, moving on. We have this little dress, Mrs. Baby Doll dress with sleeve variations, sizing 8 to 16 and 18 to 26. Baby doll dress pattern, close fitting through bust, loose at waist and hips. Front ties, gathered bodice overlay, and invisible back zipper. View A has 3/4 sleeves. View B and C have angel sleeves. Printed crepe de chine is what they used. And then you can also use challis, gauze, poplin, and some part of this is lined. Okay. Initial look is, it's just trying so hard. But it could just be the fit. Like, I'm not loving, it doesn't look too small on her. It's not necessarily pulling, but it's giving the illusion that it is. Maybe that's what's kind of confusing me. Because if we look at these line drawings, my gosh, like, kind of cute, right? But this, maybe it's the color on her, maybe it's the little baby ditzy print, maybe it's that the arm size, something around here is making my brain tingle, and not in a good way. I don't not like it. Again, it has potential, just like the last one, I guess this is an angel sleeve. A bell sleeve is an angel sleeve. And then this one with the ruffles. It's almost like I said that this one was doing too much, but almost like the more you add to it, the more I like it. I don't know. I don't know why. What am I? Maybe, yeah, maybe because they tied it. If they had left it open like they did with this, maybe. I don't know. I really want to like it, but something about the fit of it, I think, is throwing me off. Here you can see how the arm side, how deep it is. You think you can fit 2 fingers below her armpit? I don't know. And then also, why didn't we have a version where all of this and the sleeves are sheer? Because you have this overlay, so that would cover up all your bits, right? That could be a cute option. I really don't hate this option. I wish I had somewhere really cool and fabulous to go. I'm picturing that very Carrie Bradshaw it's giving me, you know, like high fashion. With like a stiletto, like 6-inch stiletto heel, or like what Sabrina Carpenter's been wearing lately with like the 70s platform sandal. Something along those lines. I don't not like it. I just don't like the sample. I think I don't like the sample. But I can't really tell you why. And I bet that's frustrating. But something about it is just like not clicking. There's the back. Okay, the back is reasonable. What's sad is I bet this fabric is really beautiful in person. Is it upside down though? I don't know. What is this? Like a snap or something? Obviously something has to happen there. Why didn't we just do another tie? Since we've got so many ties in the front. And then it zips but leaves a large keyhole. Which I like that too. Not the threads showing. Jeez, you guys. Baby hems everywhere. Yeah, I wish the sample were better. All you need is an invisible zipper for this. So very affordable make. Fit wise, what do we have here? 2 inches of ease in the bust. That's a close fitting situation. Maybe that's part of why it's not registering for me. 2 inches here and then very loose fitting everywhere else. That's like a typical baby doll though. I don't think it's the 2 inches of ease. I think that's fine. Maybe it's not 2 inches on her though. Yeah, I can't put my finger on it. It doesn't look too small, but we might be teetering, you know. It might be very, very close. Yeah, I can't put my finger on it. I don't hate it. I really want to like it. I don't like this sample. And I think that's where I'm going to leave my thoughts on that. Okay, now we have this Mrs. dress with petite lines. So this is new for 2025. Instead of calling it a petite pattern, they're now calling them Mrs. dresses with petite lines, where you just have more horizontal lines on the pattern pieces for you to shorten. That's all that means. So if you're not petite, you can definitely still make this. 4 to 12, 14 to 22, close fitting off the shoulder trumpet dress pattern, has underlined bodice, invisible back zipper, long sleeves, and length variations. Jersey knit. It's a gown and a jersey knit. Okay. Moderate stretch knits. What do we have here? 35% cross grain. They put the stretch percentage right here on the front page. Oh, my little heart is happy. Someone commented about this on, I think it was the new look first impression that I did, and said, you did it. So I was expecting this. I was anticipating it. So happy someone's listening. You guys are listening. So if that's consistent across the board on all of the Big Fives patterns going forward, really, I mic drop. I've done my service to this world, right? I mean, you're welcome. No, for real. I couldn't be the only one that was saying that needed to happen, but so happy to see it. So when you're shopping for knits, you're going to be looking for something with 35% one-way stretch, I guess. You don't need the two-way stretch because it's not going into under your crotch. You don't need that vertical stretch. It can still be there. It's not bad to have it. You just don't need it. But yeah, so you're looking for 35% cross grain, which isn't a ton, especially for a jersey. You're going to find a lot of jerseys with 50% cross grain. You're going to want to try and get that down if you can, because you need the structure for this type of dress. If it is too stretchy, then it's not going to stay up. Anyways, okay, novelty knits, Ponte knit. They say see stretch gauge. You don't need to do that anymore. Underlining. Underlined. I wonder how much underlined bodice. Okay, so nylon and fusible knit. Oh, sorry. Jersey and tricot. I wish they would have said something along the lines of like power net or something there to give you that compression type feeling so that it stays up. That's the whole goal. Yeah, a jersey strapless dress. That's an interesting thought. The design is very classic, right? Like we've seen this a million times. The construction, very simple. But doing it out of a jersey knit is so interesting. I need to see what the notions are. Because the red one, is the red one and the black one the same? This is B and this is C. So the red one has even more fabric on the bottom, aka it's even heavier. So interesting. What is this? Oh, we have darts in it. I guess, yeah, with a 35% stretch, that makes sense. Why is the little pull for the zipper way down here? Wait. Why isn't it all the way up here? I'm confused. Are you unzipping? What? What is happening? Right? That doesn't make sense, does it? Is that what's in the line drawings? Hold on. Yeah, why is it way up here on the line drawing? That's bizarro. Bizarro land. How did they get her into this? I'm so confused by that. I'm real confused by that. Did they just put it in upside down? Well, I don't know what is going on. It shouldn't throw me, but my brain just can't move past it. So I'm gonna force my brain to move past that. You obviously are gonna sew it up where the zipper pull is way up here. That's what makes the most sense. Okay, so I'm looking for some negative ease. I'm looking for notions. So, invisible zipper. Okay. 3/4 of a yard of 1/4 inch elastic. Okay, so it does look like we have elastic in the top and elastic for a waist stay. So if you're not familiar, a waist stay, let's look at one without a belt, is inside of here. It's like usually like a ribbon or something. Like remember when you had your wedding dress or some like prom dresses, maybe you might have had something inside that you had to like button or snap first and then you zipped it up. That's a waist stay. They're sewing elastic into this seam to give the stability that you need to hold up this skirt. That way it's not all being pulled on from the top. It's also, this is carrying some of the weight as well. Does that make sense? So that's good to see. Now let's look at ease. We have 0 inches of ease in the bust. Perfect. 0 in the waist and -1 in the hip. Okay, that all makes sense. Now, if you are making this and you are not exactly a size 4 or exactly a size 6, you're going to want, like, you're definitely sized down, but you're going to want to try and get as close to 0, -1/2 inch, maybe even -1 inch at most in the bust and waist. You're going to want to try and get as close to that as possible. These ease amounts are important for a dress like this. All that to be said, great. Like, it looks to be great construction and it was designed well. If you're needing to make something like that or wanting to make something like that, again, I have literally nowhere to wear that. even if I made it short, I could see some of my like young 20-something-year-old sewing students wanting to sew this and then just leaving the bottom off, and they, you know, go to the club and whatnot. I don't do that. So I don't know, not for me. But if you need a knit gown, I sign off on that one. Okay. Next, we have Mrs. Fitted knit top and skirt. Oh no. Okay, we don't have the stretch percentage on this pattern. Womp womp. Oh well, I got my hopes up. But this is a sleeveless knit top and skirt pattern. Have scalloped hem, invisible zipper closure, views B and D, have contrast panels. This is Ponte de Roma knit, so similar to the one we just saw, it's going to have 35% or less stretch. You're not going to go for something super stretchy here. You want the structure for the scallops. Stretch knits only, cotton knit jerseys, Ponte knit. Okay. Design-wise, it is real cute. I don't love black and white together. It feels a little Beetlejuice or I don't know, something about it, just not my fave combination. What I would have loved to see is like something a little bit more monochromatic, like if we did like 2 similar shades of brown or like a white and a cream. That feels more elevated to me. Or go in the other direction and do something really fun like orange and aqua, or orange and hot pink is a good combination, something like that. These versions that aren't color blocked, just feel a little plain. Well, that's fine. It's still cute. It's still super cute, actually. If you made a matching set in a solid color, that would still be really, really cute, I think. You wouldn't notice any of this stuff, but you would notice the double scallops, which is really cute and sweet. So they put her in a knee-high, maybe like velvet suede-ish type of high heel boot. That feels right for this, especially for fall. It is a sleeveless garment, short skirt, so it's not something you're going to wear into deep fall. This would keep you a little bit warmer, I guess. But if I were going to make it for all seasons and any season, maybe I would have gone with like a little kitten heel instead. Or if you make it out of all of one fabric, like let's say you made it out of all denim. Ooh, okay. Okay, denim, but in different shades of denim. That's a super cute idea. And then you can wear it with everything from wedges to sneakers to boots, whatever you wanted. That's an adorable idea. Oh my gosh. Okay. Someone please make that. I might also, but someone else should also too, not just me. Okay, here's the back. The fit of this seems fine. Again, the arm size are feeling a little bit short. And I don't remember that being like a common thing for McCall's, but it's seeming that way, especially for a sleeveless garment. We do want a little bit of breathing room there for our armpits. This one does look longer in the back than it does on the front. So if the skirt is even along the waistband, right, which is sitting right at her belly button, so it is a little bit low or mid-rise, we'll call it, then this should also be shorter. So this might just be really long. I always have a problem with that, so I'm always shortening this, whether the pattern is long or not. But yeah, it does feel a little less cropped in the back, right? The fit of the skirt, though, super cute. Are we just doing a turned back hem on this? Interesting. Oh, I don't know how that would hold up actually as the day goes on. You can even tell these are getting curly, and she's probably only had this on for 10 minutes. I would have done something different there to stabilize this. What was all that lining for? Wasn't there a lining? No, just interfacing, no lining. Okay, if it were me, I would, yeah, I guess, I would probably try and figure out how to do a one, like, how to do a lining pattern piece that's not all these individual things. That's like one solid piece for the inner skirt, you know? And then do that out of like a lightweight, like knit lining type of fabric. That way you can sew it right sides together, get the perfect little scallops, turn it to the inside, attach it somehow to the waistband, and then give yourself a little bit more structure there. I'm just not entirely sure how a turn back, even on a ponte knit, would hold up over time. Maybe it would be fine and I'm overthinking it. That's a distinct possibility. Wouldn't be the first time. Okay, let's look at notions. I think you just need some zippers. Oh, zippers and double fold bias tape. That must be for the neckline and for the arm size because it's not lined or faced. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. Well, if you, A, B, C, and D, you need that. So if you made the linings, you wouldn't need that anymore. That feels like a lot of work, though. Some things like, I don't know, would the denim be better? Or would they still curl up too? And then you'd see the wrong side. That's, I guess, something that you just have to make it and see if that happens. That's annoying. Who wants to do that? Fit wise, the bust has 2.5 inches. Okay. The waist has 2.5 inches, and the hip, the waist of the skirt, sorry, has 1 inch. That's because it's like a little bit low slung, so it sits lower on your waist, like a mid-rise. And the hip has 4 inches, so it is a little bit like a close-fitting skirt. Not quite a pencil skirt. It does have that A-line shape, but at the hip, it is close-fitting. Oh, yeah, I feel like this one's real close. If you love, 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 love it, then maybe a little bit of extra effort and work on the front end would make it last longer, or at least make sure that you could wear it for a long, long time and not get annoyed with it. Okay. Next up, we have this Mrs. Asymmetric skirt, sizing 8 to 16, 8 and 18 to 26, so the larger end of the Mrs. size range. Fitted ankle length skirt sewing patterns have panel design, handkerchief hem, and invisible zipper closure. Panel design, okay. View B skirt has contrast, view C skirt has hem shape variation. Viscose crepe in olive animal print. That's awfully specific. Chalet, charmeuse, cotton blends, and crepes. So yeah, your lightweight drapey fabrics is what they're wanting you to make this out of. I'm picturing, this is tough because all of this is going to be cut on the bias. All of this is cut on the bias. And now you can't even really see where those style lines are. So almost like, what's the point? It is super interesting how it creates that swoop though, but if you're not color blocking or at the very least print blocking, what's the point? Just make a skirt with a handkerchief hem, right? This is a lot of work, and I'm sure it's a fabric hog. I do think that when you start to come down here, this starts to read a little bit more like a flounce, which is giving all that movement down here. That is super interesting. They did style it almost exactly how I would suggest. Fitted top, some kind of boot, that's perfectly fine. It sits below the natural waist. There's her belly button. So a mid-rise. Yeah, I don't see why I don't like this. I know that this is a lot of work to sew, and to sew correctly with no like puckers, because you're sewing together concave and convex curves. You're sewing those two things together. That is no small feat. And for, it's like, is the juice worth the squeeze? You still can't really tell what's happening here. I mean, I can kind of see it because I know what to look for, but from far away, you definitely can't. And then the bottom looks like just has like turn back baby hems again, which is fine. If you are wearing a lot of maxi skirts, right, and you know, you need some spice in your life, a little bit of variation, I don't see why this would be a bad option. The fit was really good. It's just, yeah, I think that that's going to be a beast to sew. All you need for notions is a zipper and a ribbon. Okay, so here we are with the waist stay again. They are really putting a lot of nice construction details into these McCall's patterns. I'm loving that. Because without a waistband, with the interfacing and all that jazz, this thing will grow and grow and grow, and you'll be naked. You'll have no pants by the end of the day, no bottoms, no skirt, nothing. So okay, that I like to see that. Finished or ease wise, we do have the waist has 2 inches of ease. I don't love that. How much does the hip have? The hip has 1.5. Ooh. 1.5, and it doesn't even look like the hip area is really even on, because down here you would have some give, like it would kind of like a bias cut skirt would, but this is all still on the straight grain. So that close fitting in a very thin fabric like that, I'm not sure what I think about that. And then 2 inches of ease just means it's going to sit lower on your hips. I might try and bring that back to like a 1 again. 1 inch. So it sits a little bit higher. I wonder if she's holding it up in the back. The conspiracy theories begin. Right? She could be holding it up. Yeah. And then, yeah, I don't know. That looks higher again, just like the other skirt where the shirt didn't get longer, right? They must have hiked up the skirt a little bit. Something about that. It's very sus, as the kids would say. Hella sus. So when you make it, just pay attention to your own ease and keep it around that 1 inch, and I think you would be fine. All right, next up, another skirt. This one comes in 3 lengths, sizes 6 to 14 and 16 to 24. Flared skirt patterns have side front pockets, invisible back zipper, and hook and eye. View A is above mid knee. View B is mid calf. View C is above ankle. They made it out of a denim. They don't give us the ounces on this one, in washed blue. Linen blends, midweight denim, twill wool blends. This is one of those patterns that you could make one for every single season. Spring, summer, winter, and fall. It depends on the fabric. You could make this out of a challis. You could make this out of a gauze. You could make this out of all the spring and summer fabrics. And then you could also make it out of wool and flannel and all the things in winter. So it's a powerhouse pattern. If you get it and you can get the fit right and all of that, you could make one of these for every season of the year. It does look like these are at least portions of a circle. So it is like maybe half circle skirts or full circle skirts on each quadrant of your body, which is what's giving all this volume. It is really, really beautiful. All the drape and everything like that, which is why they're recommending fabrics that are a little bit more structured. This is not where you're going to see the challis and all of that. You could do that. But to really see like all of these folds in the fabric and get that like really dreamy drape, you need a little bit of weight to your fabric. But the styling, I don't even know what is happening there. We're not even going to talk about that. I mean, I get the silhouette is fine with the close fitting t-shirt, even the belt is fine, but those colors, what are those? Okay, here's the back. Yeah, I mean, the fit on this looks pretty exceptional. Not much to say about it. It does look like it fits at the high waist. Is that what it said? Flared skirt, blah, 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 blah. It doesn't say. It doesn't say, but it does feel like a high-waisted skirt pattern. All that volume, I think high waist makes the most sense. All right, all you need for this is an invisible zipper and a hook and eye. That's it. You have your dedicated waistband. If it does sit at the natural waist, you want that waistband to be straight. If it's curved, scrap it and give yourself a straight waistband. If it does sit lower on the waist, then you can start to add some curve to it. But you don't need any curve at your natural waist. Your body isn't curved there. Okay, so the waist has 2 inches of ease in it again. I like 2 inches of ease for like a dress. I don't know about a skirt. I think I'm still wanting to go back down to 1. 2 feels like a lot. 2 feels like a lot. So yeah, I would aim for somewhere closer to 1 on that waistband. Yeah, but I mean, it's a simple design. You know, it is what it is. It is very dramatic though. It's easy to sew. It's like, remember when I was talking about, is the juice worth the squeeze on the last skirt? This one you will feel like, oh, I hardly did anything, and this skirt looks and feels fabulous. It's like the complete opposite of that last one. Minimal effort to sew, but a very dramatic look in the end. Okay, next. What is next? All right, we're getting into shirts. Mrs. shirt with sleeve and hemline variations. Okay, 6 to 14 and 16 to 24. Loose fitting button front shirt patterns have collar with top stitching, drop shoulders, and chest pockets. Views A and B have short sleeves. View B has purchased trim. View C has long sleeve with button cuffs and shaped hem. They use a distressed denim in blue. Is there like an unwritten rule that you have to release a button front shirt of some kind every fall? Because like, we've been there, done that with this. Like, what? We don't need more patterns, more of these. Like, scrap this and just give us 22 patterns. That's fine. We don't need so many patterns every release. Just give us like 10, and we would probably 10 really good patterns that don't feel like just a repurpose of an old pattern. That we would be much happier with that. I mean, the distressed denim is kind of cool. They turned it into like a little bit of a shacket, like with this trim. Isn't that metal? I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah, it just doesn't feel super cool. Maybe the cropped version would be a little bit better. This tunic version, no. Right? I mean, or is it like an actual dress? Maybe it's a little bit better if it's a dress length. But even still, like, come on. This is so sad. What is she wearing? They put her, like, take her face away, like, cover her face with your hands. And that girl would look like, well, kind of like a dude, but also, like, a lot older than she is. That's not cool or hip or modern, and that's just not McCall's typical target demo. They're trying to go for the young cool girlies. Like, how do we have this shirt pattern in the same collection as, you know, some of the other ones we've already looked at? It doesn't make any sense. You'll need a ton of notions, top stitching thread, denim buttons, and yeah, the iron on studded trim. Iron on? No. And then it's very oversized. We've got 12-ish inches in the bust. That's just so forgettable to me. So we will forget about it. Oh gosh. All right. Now we've got a blouson jacket. 8 to 16, 18 to 26 on the size range. Oh, God. Unlined. Calling it a blouson jacket, trying to seem cool, isn't helping when you look at it. And I have thoughts. Okay. Pointed collar, elastic hem, patch pockets, button cuffs. Views A and B have button front opening. View C has a separating zipper. Again, the denim in the washed blue. Also corduroy, twill, gabardine, midweight denim. So I don't hate the idea of this jacket. I just, if it's going to be a blouson jacket, take the pictures of it blousoning. It's not. This elastic is not supposed to be pulled down across her hips. It's supposed to be blousy. That's what blouson means, like billowing kind of. That's not what they did here in the picture. So instead, combined with the really deep cuff that's really too long for her, and also this, which is clearly too long, probably designed that way, it just looks not great. It looks not great. These look good because you don't have a body inside of them to, distort the proportions. I've seen coats like this, jackets like this in stores, and they are really cool and cute, but this again, the sample is not it. Is not it. I don't know what I think about this situation either, especially since it is causing some issues here on her shoulder. As like you can see all of these things radiating up to here. Something's happening here. It just looks kind of cheap, to be honest. I mean, the construction is on point, but with these like shiny brass buttons, I don't know. I'm afraid to see the back. Oh, this one has a contrast collar like corduroy or something. The concept is super cute. Execution wise, I'm afraid we've missed the mark. Okay, so now they've unbuttoned it. So now it looks more just like a regular denim jacket. So the proportions are better. But it's not intended to be worn. I mean, maybe it is intended to be worn open like that. But you certainly lose the blouson effect. So what was the point of even calling it that? And having this, it's just too long. One. Yeah, it's just too long, I think. I think it's too long. I don't think it's necessarily too big on her. The back fits a lot better than the front does. But it's supposed to do this, but kind of higher up. Like maybe this sits at your high hip. And all this blousoning is happening around your like midsection. Again, the idea, the concept is there. You could definitely make some alterations, measure your length, and adjust accordingly. You're going to need to adjust the length of the sleeve unless you've just always got long arms and you can never find things that are long enough. This might actually fit you really well. But yeah, we want to play around with the length of this a little bit to make it more flattering, I think. And also to kind of like lean into the design better. Like give us blouson if that's what it's supposed to be. All right, so you need elastic for the bottom, a whole bunch of buttons, heavy duty top stitch thread, and then a zipper, the zippers for the zippered version. The pockets are zippered as well as this, the center. Fit wise, it's going to be pretty roomy. We do get a finished bust measurement of, 11-ish inches. So yeah, it's roomy, and that's fine. 11 inches is fine. I don't think she's got 11 inches, but yeah. The length is what's bothering me the most about that. Next up, we have super cool. They've been doing almost exclusively vintage 70s patterns, I feel like, for the vintage releases, re-releases, whatever they're called. This is a blouse, halter, and pants. 8 to 16 and 18 to 26. Button blouse has buttoned waistband, collar, patch pocket, short sleeves with gathered cap. Faced halter with front band, ties in back. Pants have back zipper. Fabric and photo. There is no, they didn't use real fabric. And then they've done blouse, halter, and pants in challis, chino, cotton blends. Okay, so I don't know why they did this. You can just eliminate all these words. Challis, chino, cotton blends, lightweight cotton, poly satin, crepe back satin, synthetic crepe, synthetic gabardine, synthetic jersey. Okay. So, okay, it's not terrible. I want to look at it this way. Yeah, okay, you've got actually quite cute little top. Do you see how the top on her is hitting kind of at her, like in between her, it's like a mid-rise. That's what we should have for that jacket. This is how that jacket should fit. It shouldn't be all the way down here. Okay, that said, it is a cute little top, and then this halter top underneath it, it's giving, you know, pre-teen, my first bikini. And then the pants are just, yeah, they've got one single dart, or I guess two across the back, but so all of the flare is really happening in the leg, like it's like an A-line leg shape. Yeah, it's cute. I'd much rather just have a jumpsuit if I'm going to be wearing all these pieces together, but all right, I get it. Okay, so buttons, hook and eye, seam binding, stretch lace, or fold over flexi lace. Never heard of it. Finished garment measurements. We've got 2.5 for the bust, for the blouse, and then 2 in the waist for the blouse. Okay, the pants in the waist have 1 inch. All right. The hip of the pants have 3 inches. All right. Now, all that makes perfect sense. There are so many good details in these patterns. Like this little dart here, so stinking cute. Yeah, and this is just like, you know, we've sewn this onto a dress before or something. It's just chopped off. Yeah. Not the most memorable vintage reproduction we've had. All right, now we've got a unisex blazer. Great. Really leaning into the collegiate core. Sizes, alphanumeric, extra small to 2X. Notched collar blazer pattern, has front button opening. Faux welt chest pocket. Waist pockets with flaps, shoulder pads, and back vent. Wool blend herringbone in brown and camel. You can also make it in corduroy, linen, tweed, twill, wool, and wool blends. And then lined with cotton blends, poly blends, and then interface with medium weight fusible. So we've got all the things of a classically, well, they would have more than mid-weight interfacing if it was like a classically like tailor-made custom couture blazer. But we're close enough for McCall's. What's interesting is because it's unisex, the shoulder length is the same on all of them, right? So it's a little bit oversized on her, but fits him. And I think that that makes sense. That's good. Because if she's wearing a quote-unquote men's blazer, it would have the larger shoulder pads. It would be the boyfriend fit that we've, you know, all come to know in terms of ready to wear. So, not bad. It's not fully lined. It doesn't look like. We only have this little bit lined and maybe the sleeves. Interesting. The outfits are super cute. I love her outfit. That is so cute. They either really get it or they just really don't get it when it comes to that, right? Yeah, I don't know that you'd ever be wearing it buttoned up like that if you were like female wearing it. He might have it buttoned up more, but I think she would probably more likely wear it open. Yeah, and then you got your 2-piece sleeve. Again, it is linebackery, but I think that that's kind of the point, so I'm accepting that as part of the design. You've got your center back seam with this beautiful little vent, and we've also got these seams here. So there is some shaping going on. His has the double back vent. It's pretty great for McCall's unisex blazer. I really have no complaints. Buttons, covered shoulder pads, double fold bias tape, and then the fit. Are they even giving us that? Oh, they are. It's between 2 and 4-ish in the chest. And then I think the waist is kind of negligible, but yeah, there's a lot of good things happening here. If you need a blazer, I sign off on this one. This is good. I like to see all this stuff that's happening. It's not really a fall blazer though if it's not fully lined, right? Like that's more of a summer blazer, I think. I'd rather see it fully lined, but it is what it is. Okay, here's a cutie little 60s dress, sizes 8 to 16 and 18 to 26. Dress with long set-in sleeves, has a center back zipper, buttoned yoke is sewn to front, two-piece faced band collar is sewn to neck edge and buttoned close. Sleeves are gathered into button bands. Longer length dresses are worn with purchased belt. Dress of one fabric has eyelet ruffling included in yoke seam and band facings. Other dress has contrast collar and cuffs. Mini length dress has contrast yoke and collar. Dresses are interfaced where necessary. Okay. So, crepe, crinkle cotton, lengthwise striped fabrics, linen, PK, printed silks or cotton, seersucker, synthetic mixtures. Wow, so many things. And then linen and PK for your contrast collars and cuffs. So it's really those sort of like pretty stable, lightweight wovens. Okay, yeah, it's cute. Why do I feel like I've seen this? I've seen this somewhere. This is certainly more 60s than these two are. Just fabric choice. And then, yeah, purchased belt. Okay, got it. Yeah, again, it's not really giving fall, especially when you see seersucker in the fabric recommendations. That's interesting. 8 buttons, 2 hook and eyes, 1 snap, invisible zipper, bias team. Yeah, there's a lot of interface, a lot of notions for this. A also needs that ruffled eyelet trim. When you look at the line drawings, it is cute. Why did we stop doing these? Why are they on every single vintage pattern, almost as like their bust darts, like how bust darts are on every single woven top or dress? Why did we stop doing this? That is such a great little detail. Looking at these line drawings, I'm actually pretty hopeful for this, that it would be super cute. I think you just need to lean into like the mini skirt of it all, mini dress of it all. Fit wise, wow. Okay, so this is making it seem like the dress part is a rectangle. This isn't really looking like a rectangle. It does seem like there is some shape happening, but that means that the bust is pretty loose with 5.5 inches. Is that what that is? Yeah, 5.5 inches of ease. And the hip is kind of fitted with 3.5 inches of ease. So not ideal for those of us who are pear-shaped. If you are pear-shaped, you would want, you know, to base it off of your hip, but then it's going to be too big on top. It's the quintessential dilemma we've always lived with. You can always add fisheye darts here and cinch in your bust and waist a little bit. Or you can create your own A-line, which is probably the better idea of the two. A unisex shirt. Okay, sizes, all in one, alphanumeric, extra small to 2XL. Casual button front shirt patterns have collar stand, front patch pockets with button flaps, back yoke, box pleat, shaped hem, long sleeves with button cuffs. View B shirt has shaped pocket. Tutorial available for View B only. Fabric is a pinwheel corduroy. Oh, good. And Japanese classic Oxford in cream. Chambray corduroy cotton blends, denim linen blends, lightweight 12 micro suede Oxford. So now we have two button downs, like, and this one has this kind of like chef's detail, you know, like a chef coat, how it crosses over like that. I guess that's kind of interesting. Would I have put, I guess if you don't put the pockets on, then it really does look like you just tucked in your chef's coat. This other one has this like little cowboy shirt kind of going detail with the yoke. So there are some details there. How she's wearing hers as a jacket is kind of cool. It being monochromatic, that whole outfit certainly helps. I don't know. I'm sure that they saw this and ready to wear somewhere and were like, we can make that. But should you have? That's another story. Yeah, I mean, she doesn't look bad at all. Like, it's a cute outfit for sure. But do we, like, another pattern. Do we need another pattern like this in the world? You know? And if our argument is yes, because this detail is so unique and different and modern, okay, I'll give you that. Then scrap the other one. The other one we saw earlier. We certainly don't need two. When we've had so many every year after year after year after year. Yeah. Okay, it's cool. It's cool. We got a lot of pictures on this one. Very traditional back yoke situation. A lot of volume there. And then your functional sleeve placket is nice. What do you need? Buttons? Yeah, just a whole bunch of buttons. And then the chest has, good gracious, somewhere between 7 and 9 inches of ease in the chest, which, what do we think he has? 7 to 9 inches? Are we sure? Probably not, because you know what? They pushed it all to the back. See how it was so, like, slim fitting looking here? And then he turns around and there's all this. I don't think anybody really wants that. So yeah, pretty oversized even by guy shirt standards. She's probably got that much room. Especially if, is it like a box? Because women have hips, so you would need room for the women's hips. So yeah, this is why unisex patterns are really tough to pull off, because men typically don't have hips, so a straight box is fine. But women do have hips, so then it's going to be really oversized for her on top, or oversized for him on bottom, one of the two. You know what I mean? But anyways, all right. We also have, we have to be getting close to the end here. This blouse by Laura Ashley, sizes only 6 to 14. I'm not going to give this any of my time. Like, it's not an authentic it's not a reproduction if you don't add sizes to it. You're just re-releasing it with the limited amount of sizing it already had. And we don't do that. We don't only do sizes 6 to 14 anymore. So, Laura Ashley, whatever is happening between the collaboration between you and McCall's, like, we got to get it together and get more sizes going. Okay? Okay, thank you. I will skip that one now. We have a little kid's dress, top and skirt. So cute. We have are you kidding me? A button-down shirt. I can't make this up. And pants. Okay, the pants are actually really freaking cool. I want to throw up looking at another button-down. I guess it's nice that they all come in the same pattern. Just to have it all in one pattern is nice and makes it affordable. But then do we need the other two? What is happening? I get that oh God. You know how, like, we would get all these shirt patterns and then every pattern just came with pull-on pants? And it was like, how many pull-on pants patterns do we really need? It feels like that's what they did here. They were like, oh, we've got this shirt pattern. Let's just throw it in with those shorts. Again, great for value, right? Because now you get two patterns for the same price as, one. But, oh gosh, couldn't we have done something different? Because this is also like Mimi G has a pattern just like this. I have it. I own it. I've made portions of it. Oh, I don't know what to make of that. Like, I guess it's, oh, I don't know. I don't know what to think about it. Just make the patterns cheaper and stop, like, adding all these things that seem unnecessary or seem, like, repetitive. Just make them cheaper. Semi-fitted shirt pattern has button front opening, collar, drop shoulders, yoke, back pleat, chest pocket. High-rise shorts and pants have fly front zipper, back welt pocket, hem cuff. Shorts include ties. Okay. Printed cotton poplin, I think, is this one, and floral stripe is this one, but floral stripe tells us nothing about what type of fabric that is. Oh, I see. They're both cotton poplin. They're just talking about the print of it now. Okay, got it. Cotton blends, lawn, poplin, shirting fabrics, vertical stripes. The quote-unquote sew-along is just how to do a fly zipper, a fly front zip. So you're not getting a full sew-along for this one. You're only getting this fly front zip situation. So I want to skip to where we can see more of the shorts and pants. Please tell me we get more than these line drawings. Okay, that's a little bit better. Kind of. So it looks like pleats that open up to give you this wide leg. Pretty leg line, right? That looks really, really nice. The length of them is absolutely perfect. They are high-waisted. I'm assuming on the inside is some construction for a waistband type of situation. Here's the back of the pants. Those look fine. The welt pocket is here. These are darts. And there's only one. And it's really long. So the shaping is really not really there in the back. I would probably have to add 2 more maybe, if I wanted the volume of the pant through the hip. I'd have to keep narrowing my waist. The best way to do that is just to add darts. This super deep cuff is really cool. I do love that. Again, the length of those are literally perfect for her. All right, that's all we're going to get for photos. The shorts have little welt pockets, and then also this little chintzy little tie that's honestly more decorative than anything. I don't hate the pants or the shorts, to be honest with you. I like a good clean front pant every now and again. I wish they showed us the short without the top. Like, again, the top is the throwaway part. Like, we don't need we don't need to see more of that. But yeah, that's all we're gonna get. They're cute together as a set. Tucked in is interesting. It doesn't feel too big, but it's close. What did it look like from the front on her? Yeah, not my favorite. It's not awful, but it's not my... If I saw her on the streets, I wouldn't be like, God, she looks like a hot mess. But, yeah, not my favorite. These cuffs, they are super long, but I think they're meant to be that way. Hers are really long, too. And because there's only, like, one button here, it's not a full button placket, that makes me think even more they're supposed to be that long. That way, it kind of opens up like a slit would, or like a vent would. Yeah, okay. 10 buttons and 1 little zipper for your pants, and that's it for notions. Fit wise, the top is super roomy. We're not even going to talk about that. The pants have 2.5 inches of ease in them. Interesting, especially since there isn't a lot happening construction wise. There's just going to be a facing with interfacing on it, and that's probably it. So 2.5 inches is roomy for pant ease. The hip has 9. Yeah, 9-ish. Again, that feels pretty big too. For what I mean, I like a roomy pant, but I don't see 9 inches on hers. I didn't mention this earlier, but it is Mrs. and Women's in one pattern. That has also become my new my new thing to complain about, because although it seems like, oh, look how inclusive we are, it's actually the same, because we're still getting 6 sizes per envelope. So 6 sizes in one, 6 sizes in the other. If you're an in-betweenie, if you're a size women's 20, 22, 24, 26, these are not the same as those. The women's sizing is different. Like you're going to have like a full bust adjustment's going to be in there already. Maybe even a full seat adjustment is in there already. So little things like that. And then if you're women's sizes, then you're missing all the higher range of the women's sizes. Not to mention we're also missing 4, 6, and 8. Give us the typical women's sizing. So 2 for women. And the typical Mrs. sizing. So 2 for Mrs. So there will be 4 size options here. Again, I think this is going back to like why we have so many patterns being released, when really if they just scaled back and focused on making like 8 to 10 really good ones every season, we would be fine. We would be so happy with that, you know? We also have this little number, bralette shirt and shorts. Oh gosh. Okay. All the sizing is in 1, so extra small to 2XL. Bralette sewing pattern has ruffle shoulder straps and elastics at neckline and hem. Button front shirt has collar, long sleeves, cuffs, and chest pocket. Again, it's that same freaking shirt pattern we've seen 3 other times, 4 total times now. This one just doesn't have the back yoke, so what? Anyways, shorts have elastic at waist and purchased ribbon ties. All views have purchased scallop eyelet trim. Cotton lawn in sage gingham print. You can also make it in lightweight cotton blends and voile. It is cute. This is not cute. This is weird. Just put it on the top, I think is where it's supposed to go, right? I'm just wondering, is this pajamas? Is this like sleepwear? Because am I wearing a crop top to sleep? Probably not. It is cute. Like we have that on over the crop top. Yeah. I mean, it looks fine. The fit is fine. The fabrication is fine. The styling is fine. So long as they don't have her in high heels, which I haven't noticed yet. It's a cute sleep set. It really is. The bralette is throwing me off. And also, again, we've seen a button front and elastic waist short pajama set. That's not new. That's not super interesting. Is the bralette enough to throw into this to make it new and interesting and modern? Or does it still seem really excessive, wasteful, repetitive for no reason? Like, just give us a bralette pattern for $2. Maybe? I don't know. I don't know. That would be an interesting conversation to have with people in the corporate world who are looking at numbers and things like that. I don't know if this is going to sell because of the bralette. Maybe. Like the pants one. Where is it? That I think would sell because the pants are kind of different and unique. This one. And from memory, I can only think of one other pattern that's already like this, that Mimi G version that I was telling you. And even her, I'm pretty sure the pants that come with hers are elastic waist. So the pants might be enough to sell this pattern, even though we've got 4 different button front shirts here. But is this bralette enough? I don't know. Because right next door, we have this Mrs. and Women's pajama set. Extra small to extra large, and then 1X to 5X. Again, 1X is not the same as extra large. I know that seems super confusing, but it's not. Just like 2XL, XXL is not the same as 2XL. Oversized top sewing patterns have collar, deep V neckline, drop shoulders, front ties, short or long sleeve options. Ruffled shorts and pants have elastic waist and side pockets. Cotton lawn, printed rayon, and black. Or challis and cotton blends. So it's a wrap top, a collared wrap top. And also, where's this ruffle they speak of? This? It is that. Oh, there, it is that. Look at this. That's all down the side. Interesting. Well, it's not like something I've seen before. Necessarily. Could I have thought to do that on my own? Probably. And there might be a reason why I haven't thought of it. And this is coming from the girl who loves a ruffle and loves a bow. That's really sweet. I would actually wear that out. Like not as pajamas. I like the long sleeve version a little bit less. Yeah, okay. Interesting. I don't hate it. Again, well, I don't know if I could have figured out how to do this on my own because this... Nope. That's how it works with this slash pockets. Yeah, you just add it to the seam. Yeah, you just add it in. So, I mean, I want this as outside clothes and the short sleeve top as outside clothes. I would wear a little ruffle in my pants outside. That's cute. Why is this pajamas? But also, this leg opening, see how the proportions of it are looking here? And then, where did it go? Where's the leg? So that's something I would double check. The illustration and the sample don't match up, and I don't like that. I mean, this is tapering. That's tapered. Whereas the other one was a little bit more straight. Yes, you could fix it. Yes, you could hack it, but I don't know. Why don't they just get it right? Why don't they just do whichever one is the right one? I'm assuming this is right and the illustration is wrong. But I mean, let's try not to be confusing, any more confusing than we have to be. This one, yeah, it's kind of hidden a little bit, but this one has it too. They put her in bare feet on the internet. That was a choice, but better than having them in high heels, which I've seen before. I think we could have done a little slipper. Can someone find like a little slipper? Here's the back. I like these. I like these as outside clothes. Yeah, that pant leg is not doing what the illustration is doing, but yeah, these are cute. These are really cute. I love both of them. Elastic for the pants, and that's it. Now, we are missing quite a few sizes. We have 4. We have the low end of misses, right? 4 to 22. So we're missing 24, 26, 28. And then in women's, we're missing, well, same thing, 40, 42, 44. I don't remember how high it goes normally. But I could probably get away with using because I'm on the high end of misses typically. I could probably get away with using the 1XL, and it would be like a little bit more roomy in the bum than intended, but that's fine. I'm okay with that. Yeah, for sure. Don't hate this one at all. You can see this is more of a stovepipe still. They really flared that out, which is cuter. That's what I would want it to be, a little bit more flared. Yeah. I'm down. I'm down for this one for sure. In pajamas and outside clothes. The other one with the bralette, I don't know. I don't know about that. All right, and then little girls, and then can we just look at these pictures? Babies, jumpsuits with the freaking ears that are as big as his head or their head. Oh my gosh. I can't. Oh God, you guys are lucky I'm not a parent. You guys are lucky I'm not a parent. Okay, super cute. Anyways, that is it for McCall's fall. Obviously, I have some strong opinions, but I think it's coming from a place of love, right? And knowing that we are being liquidated, and any day now, we should find out what happened at the auction. But I just feel like if we made some of these changes that I'm talking about, we could maybe save some of these brands. So that's why I get so impassioned whenever I talk about it, because I don't want them to go away. I don't want them to be sold off for parts. I don't want, I don't want anything to happen to them. I just want them to be the best versions that they can be so we can still keep the legacy of the Big Five going. But let me know what you guys think, whether it's about the patterns, whether it's what I talked about with like the repetitiveness of the designs. Do we need 23 patterns every like 4 or 5 times a year? Let me know your thoughts about anything that stirred up anything in your heart. But otherwise, that's going to do it for me today. I will see you all very soon. Bye.